All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome on this rainy Monday to our climate pitches here at Solve Challenge Finals. My name is Alexander Dale. I am the Director of Global Challenges at Solve. So I get to work with an amazing team overseeing all of our programmatic areas. But I've been the longtime climate lead for Solve since our very first challenges. This is going to be my last time I get to moderate this session, introducing the teams, because we have our new climate lead, Katie, who will be around, and you'll get to meet her, and she's doing an amazing job. But I wanted to take this last piece because this is the last challenge I've been directly involved in selecting. Climate is, right, obviously the thing in a lot of different ways, or one of the things. I was talking with someone yesterday, like, everything is either climate or it's AI. Sometimes it's both. And right, we know why the reasons for that, right? We don't need to reiterate them much here. We've seen disasters across the world at an increasing frequency. We know that there's also an uptick in funding for different climate tech teams. We see this different groundswell of tech getting implemented. At the same time, we know that there's a need to think about how we do deployment at scale in lots of different contexts, right? And that's, I think, where Solve brings a really unique perspective on how do we get these technologies that we know how they work, right? Solar, microgrids, different types of approaches to housing. We know roughly how those pieces work, but thinking about how we put them in context, how we get them to 1 billion machines, 1 billion homes, 1 billion people is a very different question. It requires a lot of different innovation, not on the technology, but on the business model, on the deployment. For this year, right, our challenge reflects this kind of two halves. So one part on climate adaptation. How do we help communities be ready for this hotter, wetter, messier, more destructive environment that we're now living in, whether we want to or not, and even if we act very fast? And how do we figure out how to build homes that are low carbon, that are good places to live for the 1 billion people that don't have good homes right now, and the billions of homes that we're going to need to rebuild in the global north to better meet the climate emergency. So right, we asked this question back in February. We got 285 submissions from 67 different countries. We have an amazing leadership group, and I'll recognize some of them in just a second, who worked together to interview 15 finalists and select 6 solver teams. And they are all here today. I was worried that we'd only have 5 of them, but we got the last visa on Friday afternoon. And so Carl from Ghana was able to get here. And for the first time in our selection for climate, all of the teams are based outside the US and Europe, right, reflecting the global nature of this challenge and the global nature of these solutions. I think also reflecting the necessity is 4 of them are for-profit, 2 are hybrids, right? We know that in order to hit scale, you have to have something that will meet a market need. And then they're currently directly affecting 98,000 lives. That's a good starting point. We're going to work, hopefully, with lots of you to make that a much bigger number. I want to give a very special thanks to all of our climate leaders. If you can stand up for a second so we can recognize you. There's a bunch of you in the room. Thank you. We ask a lot. We ask a lot from our judges to review solutions, to sit through 6 hours of interviews with different teams, to do a lot of very intense deliberation. And we want that group to reflect as many different communities as we can. With that, and with no further ado, I'm really delighted to introduce you to the 6 teams in our climate adaptation and low carbon housing cohort, starting with Mishila from Omaflow.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Morning, hi. My name is Mshila. I'm from Nairobi, and the company we founded, Omiflow, is making water again. What do I mean by that? I'm going to ask you to imagine that every time you use water, when you flush your toilets, you shower, that water is discharged into your environment from your workplace or your home completely untreated. So that is the situation in developing countries. In fact, over 90% of the wastewater that we produce is discharged completely untreated. It goes into our rivers, on the ground, into the ocean. That's the equivalent of about 14 billion liters every day, or 1 million of these trucks dumping sewage completely untreated. And we have to ask ourselves, why is the situation so bad? The truth is, existing solutions are not viable at all. You either have mechanical systems that use a lot of power, a lot of electricity, and they're complex to operate, or you have nature-based systems that require vast amounts of land. So Nairobi, where I come from, just one of the systems uses about 200 hectares or 250 football fields to treat wastewater. And that covers less than 50% of the city. So our sewage looks like this, our wastewater. We believe that wastewater should look like this. This is Omiflow's sewage. It's beautiful, clean, clear water. How have we accomplished this? We use a plant-based system, and we use that device there to flow to plants on contaminated water, which creates beautiful green parks that recycle water to reusable quality. So our projects look like this. We achieve this by eliminating all the drawbacks of mechanical systems. So we don't use any electricity, no mechanical parts, no chemicals, and we use a fraction of the space of other nature-based systems. So the ponds that you saw before, we use about 10% of that space. And what we also have, we lower capital costs, 50% of the capital costs, and about 80% of the operational costs of conventional systems. And what we really, really love about our system is it's completely odor-free. So it creates dignified sewage treatment. This is a group of artists sitting next to one of our systems. There's young Africans having a picnic next to one of our systems. They don't know that it's sewage treatment until we tell them after. Yes. So these features eliminate a lot of the challenges with collecting and treating sewage, which is the piping and the transport of sewage to treatment sites. Our projects are carbon negative, they're green, and they reclaim water. One of those pictures is my mechanic, so he uses recycled water to wash the workshop and wash cars. In 2050, about 1.3 billion Africans will be living in urban areas. Majority of them will be using those trucks to transport their sewage. So what we're asking from you is finance and technical help to build decentralized collection and treatment sites like these, hundreds, thousands of them all over Africa, to receive waste from those trucks, to treat it responsibly so we can make water again. Thank you. I'm available after this for questions.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Next up, I'm pleased to welcome to the stage Hassam with GeoAircon.
Hello, everyone. This is Hassamuddin, CEO of GeoAircon. So the problem that all of us might be familiar with is the effects of climate change. But perhaps the effects of climate change is more in some areas than the others. In South Asia, we are regularly seeing temperatures above 45 degrees Celsius, around 115 Fahrenheit and above are quite common. But 80% of the population simply can't afford conventional means of air conditioning. That's almost 1.1 billion people. And perhaps more worryingly, the wet bulb temperatures are rising at a fast pace. Above 32 degrees Celsius, human survivability is extremely hard. And these areas have just started to pop up. And in the next 50 years, as you can see in the pink dots, this would be a large area covering a large population. Even if we go for conventional solutions and forget about the affordability, that in itself has a huge impact. As reported by the IEA, the demand for air conditioning is expected to triple by 2050. This amounts to adding 10 new air conditioning units every second for the next 30 years. But their impact is almost 2.7 times more than that of construction in India and Pakistan. The solution might have been beneath our feet all of this time. We take inspiration from the ancient Persian Qanat-based cooling system, which actually uses the temperature underground to cool down buildings. Luckily, the underground temperature that we have in the region is in between 21 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius. By using this underground temperature, we are not only able to cool the buildings, but also are able to heat them as well. The solution makes use of already available boreholes that number more than 32 million in the region. By a high flow circulation system in a closed loop piping, we are effectively able to tap into the underground energy and use it to create a somewhat comfortable environment for those having no respite. Over the past 2-3 years, we have executed multiple commercial projects and now are looking for much advanced projects which tap into the agriculture sector as well as hybrid projects. The team consists of highly motivated engineers and scientists that share a common vision to bring affordable and sustainable thermal comfort to the masses. In the next 5 years, we foresee to have around 25,000 units catering to 25,000 households, saving over 100,000 tons of CO2. We are seeking strategic investment partners. Access to technical and business mentors to allow us to have much greater fusion of technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Assam. Next up, I'd like to welcome to the stage Carl from Nelplast. If you want to click through.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carl Akolache, and I'm the co-founder of Nelplast Eco Ghana. Of the 1 million tons of waste that are produced in Ghana every year, over less than half gets collected. When it comes to plastic waste, a whopping 29% of our plastic waste ends up in the ocean. On the other hand, the picture there is where we are located. It's a densely populated urban slum where most of the homes have about 5 to 10 occupants, leaving them very vulnerable to extreme weather conditions, high temperatures, and a flood, which my co-founder barely escaped alive a few years ago. At Nelplast, we have a network of waste pickers that go out to collect plastic waste from the environment, which we then transform into cheap interlocking bricks and paving tiles. The bricks and tiles that we produce are much more affordable for the average Ghanaian. We also contribute to a cleaner environment, and we create jobs for informal workers who would otherwise not have any. The products are the first and only one of its kind in Ghana. They are 30% cheaper than any other building solution, 10 times harder, water resistant, and fire resistant. So they've passed all standards tests. They use less mortar in the building process. Buildings are cooler and therefore consume less energy. They don't need expensive cooling solutions. And the bricks themselves are reusable and recyclable many times over. In the last 5 years, we've produced over 500,000 eco bricks and tiles. We've built 3 homes, including our own office. Out of these bricks, we have 5 under construction and 8 signed contracts awaiting constructions, and most of these are family homes. In the process, we've recycled 12 million kilos of plastic waste, directly avoiding 2.7 million from ending up in our ocean. In Ghana right now, every year there's a shortage of 100,000 homes. That translates into 3 million eco bricks per annum. Our current capacity is a mere 200,000, so we are seeking funding to increase our capacity to 1.2 million bricks per annum. We're asking investors in the room for up to 2 million. We already have some of that money committed, and investors will enjoy a revenue post-investment of 4.1 million per annum based on our current performance at a net profit margin of 20%. So the entire team at Nelplast, and on behalf of our 57 employees, we want to reach out to investors in the room that would like to have a return on profit, but also contribute to cleaning up the environment and providing homes for affordable homes for everybody. Please, this now is a moment to take a snapshot of our information and get in touch with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carl. And yes, you'll have a chance to meet with all of these teams right after this. You'll see tables getting set up over here. We'll have them out in the hallway as well. We're going to run through all 6 of them, and then you'll get a chance to hopefully talk with all 6 of them yourselves. Next up, welcoming to the stage Fio from La Firme.
Thank you. Hi. Over 60% of families in Latin America build their own homes without any professional assistance. That's more than 270 million people across the region. This happens because architectural and engineering services are out of reach for most low and middle income families. Instead, families hire informal contractors who usually lack design and planning skills. As a result, many of these homes are structurally unsafe. 40% of materials are wasted, mainly cement. And there's overspending of up to 50%. To solve this, La Firme is reimagining architectural services to bring them closer to families in Latin America. How? We introduce efficiency through automation, standardization, and guidance in the design and client management processes, all powered by technology to make these services affordable for families and profitable for architects. Our service has 3 main steps: data collection, design, and delivery. We start with a remote site analysis, where we use existing databases on zoning, topography, seismic risk, among others. We then do an in-person site survey, where we apply technologies to efficiently analyze the current house. Architects then follow our guidelines and methodology to finalize the design in less than 3 online meetings. Finally, families receive the complete set of plans, a plan overview that explains all the technicalities, and a strategy to phase their construction according to their financial possibilities. We have completed a pilot in Lima, Peru, where we tested our hypothesis and our service. Through better planning and design, families are able to save more money, have better structures, and have a better quality home overall. La Firme has a B2C model, where families pay us in installments. We then pay independent professionals a fee for their services. We are Mora, Raul, and Fiorella. We met at MIT, and we combine more than 15 years of experience in social research, digital innovation, business, and architecture in Latin America. We are looking to connect with tech companies that can further increase the efficiency of our service. We're also seeking guidance on marketing and scalability strategies. And we're also looking to raise $200,000 to support our growth and impact over the next year. Our dream is to reach the 2 million families who each year build without professional assistance in Latin America. By increasing the quality of homes, we want to help build more resilient cities in Latin America that are able to reduce waste and emissions, densify safely, and incorporate more sustainable materials over time. Join us in our journey to help families translate the biggest investment of their lives into safe homes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so inspired by all of these teams every year and the breadth of different topics that they are approaching. I hope you are as well. Next up, different side of the world. I'm pleased to welcome Bjorn with Build Up Nepal.
Hi, my name is Bjorn Söderberg. I'm the founder of Build Up Nepal. In 2015, a massive earthquake hit Nepal, and 8,000 people lost their lives, and hundreds of thousands of homes were destroyed. Me and my wife Bina decided to go out in the villages and try to help the poorest families rebuild. The situation out there was just heartbreaking. Entire villages were destroyed. The family of 3 women that we met here were living in deep poverty. They had lost the one thing they owned, that was the house. And it was one of the first families we helped rebuild. And what we learned from them was how poor families in Nepal dream about living in a safe brick house, but very few can afford it. And fired bricks is a major climate issue, responsible for 37% of CO2 emissions in Nepal. Widespread child labor, massive amounts of air pollution. That was not something we wanted to be a part of in any way. So we set out to make bricks eco-friendly and safe houses affordable for everyone. Our Eco Bricks is made from industrial wastes mixed with ashes and a small amount of cement and lime, compressed in a machine, and comes out looking like pieces of Lego, and is highly disaster resilient. Using this technology, we can build a small house at 25% lower cost than fired bricks, reducing the biggest investment of their lives by 25%, while cutting CO2 emissions by 85%. And we have developed a a last mile delivery model to bring this technology to scale. So we find and support local entrepreneurs. They buy a machine from us, they start a small enterprise and just make bricks and build houses. Our job at Build Up Nepal is to help them succeed. We teach them how to make bricks, how to build earthquake resistant. We provide quality control, marketing services, and business trainings. The result is financially sustainable enterprises that's making bricks and building houses in their own communities year after year. Until now, we have supported about 300 entrepreneurs to build those houses. But what's really unique about our model is that 95% of the houses built is built by local builders, paid for by poor families themselves, no grants involved, and made by bricks from their own community. And we have supported 300 entrepreneurs to build more than 8,600 homes, creating 3,400 full-time jobs, and as a result, saving 86,000 tons of CO2 emissions. But this is only the beginning. Over the next few years, by 2030, we aim to build 100,000 homes for poor families in Nepal. This would replace 10% of the fired bricks and reduce Nepal's national CO2 emissions by 2%. In the process, we will develop fully carbon-neutral bricks and scale this technology not only in Nepal, but across South Asia and further beyond. And that's where you come in. So what we are looking for now at Build Up Nepal is bold partners who wants to dare to go in and invest in systematic change. We are seeking $1 million to invest in quality control, scale up, and development of carbon-neutral bricks. And we're looking to connect with people with expertise in developing and scaling social business, to help us make sure that we can create systematic change in a very dirty industry, and to make sure that when the next earthquake or when the next flood hits, poor families will be safe inside their own homes. Thank you.
These are such inspiring goals, and I think one of the questions I always have for teams is what would it take to move it from 2030 to 2027 in terms of these goals? How do we go faster? Right? It's always the question. Last but not least, I would like to welcome Tuet with Sanefa up to the stage, bringing us to agriculture.
Good morning, New York. Nice to see you. My name is Tuet, and I'm the investment and investor relations lead at Sanefa. And basically, we are an ag-tech company working within the climate space to increase yields for farmers. Africa's population is 1.3 billion this year. This is projected to double by 2030. This means pressure on land and resources. That basically means as the population grows, the populations need lots of foods, and this in return gives pressure to the forests, to the land degradations, and in the end, it's a cycle where with worse climate effects, low production costs, low production is experienced at the farming level, and a whole system is compromised. At Sanefa, we basically equip farmers for a better tomorrow. We offer them smart greenhouses, which are low costs, equipped with IoT sensors, which gives them precision farming and helps them to monitor their farms more intuitively. On top of that, we give them a dashboard that helps them manage their farm wherever they are in this world. Till date, we have worked with different partners, and simply how it works is the farmer pays us installments. They get the greenhouse built, the greenhouse built by Sanefa. The farmer is again linked to market opportunities, and once we collect the data from the IoT sensors, we share that with financial institutions, and moving forward, they're able to finance up to 80% by financial institutions. And once more, the cycle begins again. So we are maintaining this wheel and making sure that it works back to back. We've been doing this for close than 7 years, maybe more. Until date, we have impacted 19,000 farmers, and we're still counting. We have experienced year-on-year growth of 44% in our revenues, and we're projecting this to grow more and more as we build more expertise in this space. Till date, we've worked with different partners, and as you can see them on screen, all of this have trusted us both in sense of capital, introductions, and networks. Hence why we're standing here looking at you. We're currently raising our seed capital, both mixture of equity and debt, And the promise within the climate space, ag sector, is very rewarding both for the farmer and the investors. This will help us to share our data with our partners, and in return, this gives value for farmers by financing them, and in the end, creating more farm yields for the growing population in different continents, and Africa in this case. Thank you so much. Should you have any interest on Sinafa, I'll be at the back, and I'll be happy to have a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 6 amazing teams. Can we have one more round of applause for the entire cohort there? I think, right, some lines to draw between them. All of them are doing climate, but they're doing it in so many different ways. All of them are looking at how do we get to a much bigger scale, and they need your help to help them do that, whether that's in expertise, whether that's in capital. And to get us started on a little bit of that capital piece, we have a few different prize announcements before we let you get to networking. Most of the prizes will be in the closing plenary, but we have a few that are specific to this pillar, and so we want to take a moment to announce those. I'm going to start with one, which is our community award, and so this is voted on across all of our finalists over the past 6 weeks. And this year, the winning team is actually a finalist, so they are not with us in the room. But they're a team that is working in Niger and other parts of the Sahel, looking at building an ancient kind of vaults called Nubian vaults that allows you, again, in climate adaptation, using a much heavier earthen mass. And so the MIT Solve Community Award, which is $2,000, will go to the Nubian Vault team. And so we congratulate them in absentia for that. Next up, I would like to welcome up Simon, if you want to join me on stage. And so Simon is from the Good Energies Foundation and has been a long-term supporter of Solve's climate work. And we're really delighted to have him with us for the first time at Solve Challenge Finals.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Hi. Thanks again for all the solvers that presented today. I think it was very impressive. So many innovative and creative solutions. Makes me very hopeful when I look into the future. I know it can be quite tough if you work in the climate space, but definitely this makes me hopeful. Yes, so as Alex mentioned, my name is Simon. I work for the Good Energies Foundation, which is a Swiss-based private family foundation. And we work mostly we support programs that want to revert the impact of climate change, and we work in 2 areas, mostly access to clean energy, and the other one is around forests, where we look into stopping deforestation and restoration as well. And specifically for this challenge this year, we teamed up with MIT Solve through the Living Forest Prize, and the Living Forest Prize was open to solutions that help to restore ecosystems and increase the use of sustainable forest products, including for housing. And with that, I'm very excited to announce the 3 winners of this challenge, which are, in this case, Dior Aircon, Omiflow, and Nelpast.
I can have you 3 join us on stage.
Yes, congratulations again. I think we deserve another round of applause.
Simon, come in. Simon, come in here for a photo.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Next up, shifting from forests towards oceans. Right, we get both sides of our different ecosystems here. I would love to welcome to the stage Romain from the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation.
Good morning. My name is Romain Charlet. I'm the Executive Director of the Prince Albert Foundation. And I'm very excited to present this next award. Thank you. The Prince Albert Foundation is a global philanthropy, 17 years of existence, and we are dedicated to protecting the environment. Safeguarding the global ocean is is something essential, and it's among our key areas of action. We therefore decided to collaborate with MIT Solve in order to support solver teams through Prince Albert's Ocean Innovation Prize. The prize is open to solutions, supporting innovation for coasts, oceans, and more broadly, the sustainable blue economy. So, after much deliberation, I'm thrilled to announce that the prize recipient is Omiflow. So, Sheila, you can join us on stage.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So this is the start of funding opportunities. We want to give you the chance now to meet with all 6 of these amazing innovators. Right, they're all doing really cool, different work. They can all benefit from all of your different expertise. Right, they're all around the world. They would like to be in more parts of the world. I would encourage you to come find one or all of them over the next 45 minutes. They're going to be at tables. You can see the labels here. We're going to have the other 3 that are out in the hallway right behind us. Don't go too far, so that way you don't wander away from the set. But I'll note that after this session, right, so preview of the rest of the day, at 11:45 back here, we're going to have pitches from our Indigenous Communities fellows. Those include a whole range of topics, whether that's climate, whether that's financial and economic opportunity, thinking about learning, thinking about health. You don't want to miss lunch, I think. And then this afternoon, we'll have our financial inclusion and health and fragile context pitches. And then at 4 o'clock, our closing plenary with more prize announcements to come. With that, I will be around, Katie will be around, and Gabby will be around for staff if you have questions on our climate teams. And I'm going to ask the teams to come over to your different tables and for all of you to come talk with them and ask them all of the questions that I know have been burning in your heads over the past 45 minutes. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to the discussions.